Okay, welcome to Robertson Co. We're live at 5-ish. Right, today we're going to have a little live jewellery making session. I need to make some 1mm 9-carat gold 1mm halo rings. We've got some 1mm wire here. I need to make quite a few. I think this evening while we're live we'll just make a couple. Now this is live at the time. You might be watching it back later, but right now we are broadcasting live, so the audio quality and the visual quality can be a bit glitchy compared to pre-recorded videos, but not a lot we can do about that. The windows are open because it's super warm in here. It's like an oven. There was a heat wave last week in London. This building's Victorian, and in summer it's like an oven, and in winter it's like a refrigerator. They hadn't quite figured out modern building materials. So yeah, windows are open, so which will make the audio quality even worse, but it's roasting in here. So I'll put on some YouTube copyright free background music because it is summer outside. You get convertibles blasting copyrighted music, which is a problem. So we've got some new YouTube tunes. Classical. Right, this is the 1mm gold wire. Actually, there was a video that went live at the time of recording this. I think it went live yesterday. What day is it today? Is it Tuesday? It went live yesterday. The video is actually focused on graphite ingot molds, and in that video I make a gold ingot out of 9-carat gold, which ultimately becomes 1mm round wire, and this is that wire. This is the wire I had to make because we needed to make these 1mm gold rings, but I'd already made a video about making the 1mm gold rings in its entirety quite recently, so I didn't want to make another one, so I made a video about making gold ingots. Turn this down a bit. So I have a little, what size? I need quite a few sizes, but I'm going to make a size N and a size R. I've got a little sheet here which tells me what size wire I need to cut. 56mm for N. So let's get going. Right, on the end of these wires, when you start off with the ingot, which is about 6 or 7mm, as you put it through the roller mill, it kind of ends up with a bit of a V shape on the end of it, which ultimately, as you go through the draw plates, becomes a bit of a tail. It looks like a crack, like in the last few mil, but it's actually just where the V slowly closes in on itself and you end up with two halves, so that always has to be cut off. But don't worry, it'll be remelted in the next 9-carat melt. flux. A little bit of gold solder. These tweezers get a little bit clogged up with the flux after a while. They won't close up properly. Right, let's do this. Right, while that's pickling, let's make the next one size R. 62mm. This wire feels a bit hard. I think I went through the final hole of the draw plate and then didn't anneal it afterwards, because I think it was, normally I anneal every 2 holes, and I think it's got down to the where it just needed one final hole, but then what it really needed doing afterwards was annealing before I started making things out of it. But it feels like I didn't do that. I probably just made the video quickly about making the ingots and forgot about the annealing this, which just means now, until I anneal it, forming everything's going to be filing it and forming it. It's going to be challenging, more challenging than if it was super soft. So the time I've saved not annealing it, I'm now going to waste faffing around filing and forming the wire. Once I've done these, I'll anneal it. Also, if you haven't annealed it, there has the possibility of, once it's under, because it's under tension, it can move when you apply the heat. You have to really solder it, well, start the soldering process over. The joint moves before the solder's flowed. The wire's hard. Because what you're in effect doing is annealing it while you're soldering it. It has a tendency, once it relaxes, to shift out of shape. You can't have it shifting out of shape in the slightest on these 1 mils. Although because it was only one hole, the draw plate, it's probably not fully hard, half hard or whatever. Which oddly enough is what a lot of people recommend you make jewellery from. I don't know why. Flux. It's a mix of flux and meths, denatured alcohol if you're American. I prefer it to water, the meths. Just get a more even coating and a slightly thicker coating. Well, not a slightly thicker coating, you get a coating with water because you have to, unless you let the flux air dry with the water, which who's got time for that, or apply it to a piece that's warm so it sort of bakes on, the water boils and the flux lifts off the surface. It's not so much of a problem with gold, but it is a problem with silver, because you get fire stain. Which you can do. Everyone says you can't, you can. But that's a secret I'll let you in on one day. Good. Right, let's see how the size N is doing. Okay, that is the size N. So we now need to clean up the solder joint and then make it round. Make it not just round, but the right, precisely the right size. And then the next step, which I can't do here because I haven't got a camera. I need a polishing machine, but next it needs polishing. Then cleaning and then drying. So it might seem like quite a quick thing, but this is just, what you're seeing is just a very small part of the process. Obviously making the wire took it's hours of work making the wire to start with. Then making the small piece of wire into a ring is quite a relatively quick process, but then the polishing will take polishing and cleaning, drying will take as long as making the ring. If you just wanted to make one and you started from scratch, it would take 2 days. Or certainly two, where you'd go into the second working day. Right, rawhide mallet, steel triplet. See what size that is. It's a fraction under, so we use the ring sizing machine to make that the right size. It will also make it perfectly round. I mean, you can get them very round on the, you can get them really round on a triplet with a hammer, but not as round as a ring sizer, as a ring sizing machine. So yeah, the ring sizer will do two things. It will make it the perfect size in, which is a fraction of a size up, and it will also not only make it exactly a size in, like on the line a size in, it will make it perfectly round in a size in. Rounder than you can make it on a triplet with a hammer. Which is round, just not perfectly round. Right, so that's the N. This is an escapement file I'm using. I think it started out, it's so old, it's cut, no, you can still see it. This started out at cut 6, but it's so old and worn now, it's probably about cut 10. It's more like a really fine emery stick than any kind of file you can get off the shelf. Years old. Probably more like a 2000 grit emery stick than a file right now. Probably thinner, finer, and slightly more consistent than an emery stick. Same thing, rawhide mallet. If you go to Hatton Garden in London, or the Jewellery Quarter in Birmingham, or pretty much any jewellery quarter anywhere, that's the noise coming out the windows in summer, like now, when the windows are open, that's that noise, and it's ultrasonic cleaners. That's all you could, well, back to, now all you can probably hear is 3D printers doing their thing, but like back in the day, that was the noise all day long. Might be a thing of the past now, but here, for anyone who's worked in a jewellery quarter, that will be a familiar sound. I've banged that a couple of times too many. That was almost on the money. So yeah, that's the size R. It's a fraction over, so we can use the ring size. They actually we can reduce that down. It's a fraction of a mil over, so it's not even half, you know, it's not even quarter of a size over. But even if it was bang on the line, I would take it up. I would still put it on the ring sizer. Up a fraction, down a fraction, just to get it perfectly round. They just, and that's a visual thing, really. They just look perfect. If you want the handmade look, by all means, skip that stage. In fact, use a metal hammer on a metal triplet, and then skip the ring stretchers, and you'll have the ultimate Etsy finish. Handmade, but we don't sell stuff as stuff's got to look like it's made by a machine. Me. Right, there we go. Size M, size R. So they now need the sizes, the final touch on the sizes, which will be done on a ring stretcher. I actually got a couple of ring stretchers there for an upcoming video, but that's enough work on those for now. So yeah, we'll make them perfect size, then polish them. They both need polishing, then cleaning, and then they're actually stock. Right, that's it for this live stream. Hope you enjoyed this little look at gold ring making. We'll be back for more, longer. It's just a job I needed to do, so I thought it'd be worth sharing. Right, see you in the next one. Toodles.